The entire rest of Chapter 5 just got leaked, including the theme of each season and confirmation that not only are we going back to OG Fortnite at the end of this chapter, we're going back to Chapter 2 OG. We are getting the first 3 seasons of OG Fortnite at the end of this chapter. In case you guys somehow haven't seen this image, obviously huge spoiler warning. Basically, this has been going around the internet for a few days now. It is an image that someone took on their phone during a Zoom meeting that was confidential with Epic. And as you can see, it outlines what the plan is in Fortnite and each of the main modes for the next few months. If you go down to Battle Royale, you can see the seasons we already have. We are also going to be getting a Fall Guys update. We're getting Metallica and Pirates of the Caribbean. But if you pay attention to seasons, it leaks a lot. Next season looks a little bit weird. We're kind of seeing like a new Sergeant Winter or just some kind of old dude season. Doesn't tell us that much. But the next season, we are getting Doctor Doom coming back. So that could be another Marvel collab season, just like Chapter 2 Season 4. But it gets even more exciting. The season after that, you can see 3 different panels cut vertically. That is Chapter 2 Season 1, Chapter 2 Season 2, and Chapter 2 Season 3, which is the OG Fortnite we're going back to again before we jump into Chapter 6. Now, we already had OG Fortnite revealed by Epic. They said the last OG Fortnite was so popular, they're gonna do it again. But a lot of people were sitting around hoping it would be Chapter 2. It makes sense. We had Chapter 1 OG, now we'll do Chapter 2. But which seasons were they gonna do? And they've picked 3 of, I want to say 2 of the best seasons. I'm not the biggest fan of Chapter 2 Season 1. It did go for a little bit long. They didn't really add that much, but if we're only doing it for a few weeks and then we go into the next OG season, I'm totally fine with that. I know you're probably thinking, Aussie, there's no Stark season. Boo, no Stark season. I get it. Stark season would be incredibly high at Chapter 2 Season 4, but I'm guessing there's a lot of legality there around whether we can actually go back to Stark season. There might be different contracts that have expired. I know Disney now is part owners of Epic Games. There's a bunch of collab skins still in the store, but that might not mean they have the rights to use all the different items and all the different names. So they might just be avoiding Stark season for that reason. But going back to Chapter 2 Season 2 and Season 3, 2 of my favorite seasons of all time, I am incredibly hyped. As far as how legit this leak is, can we trust it? We don't even have to guess. We'll know very soon. If the Billie Eilish update comes out in Fortnite Festival, it confirms this leak is 100% real because that's set to come out in a few days. And if they've predicted it this confidently, that pretty much confirms it. Again, someone could have just guessed that based on information. They could have just made all these renders to look hyper realistic and then leaked it by a photo on their phone, but it just makes way more sense that it's a real leak based on all the different information that we already had about this chapter. But again, if someone wanted to make a leak, they would have that information as well, and they'd want to make it as realistic as possible. So there is a chance this isn't real. To me, I'm gonna guess it's real. It looks extremely real. I've seen a bunch of these leaks over the years, and you kind of just get a feeling when it makes sense. But we'll have to wait a few more days to see whether we get the update of Billie Eilish in Fortnite Festival. If we see Billie Eilish in Fortnite Festival, there is an extremely good chance this is real. So unless Fortnite sees this leak and is now so upset that it has been leaked, they start to change the timeline and change the plan, which I highly doubt. They're a billion-dollar company. There is so many people working on these seasons and working on these plans. I don't think they can just change them because of a leak. We've had that happen in the past. When major seasons get leaked, they can't just change them because of the leak. Sometimes they speed up the announcement, sometimes they speed up the launch, but they never just completely change it. But as far as this leak goes, I am extremely excited for Fortnite for the rest of this chapter. Just quickly, in case you guys missed it, I actually just launched my own website, arcaloot.com, with my brother. We're selling incredibly clean mouse pads. They're under 40 USD, quick and cheap shipping, and incredible quality. All the designs are done by my brother's fiance, so no AI art here. And I really just wanted to make something clean that you guys can use in your setup. So if you haven't checked it out, click the link in the description down below. It would really mean a lot to me. Moving on to competitive news, we had an extremely exciting day because we had 4 of the biggest teams in NA decide to do a mini snakening where they would drop their teammates the day of FNCS. Now, if you guys don't know how the format works, a lot of these teams already made it to top 150 in week 1, meaning they were already in semifinals and they still wanted to split with their duo, meaning they had to get a top 150 in this week to keep FNCS alive when they'd already qualified. Some of these players woke up to being dropped the day of FNCS. So the new duos are, we have Mero and Dukes, Chubbs and Aviv, Noxy and Crisp, and Quanti and Byla. But it gets even worse. Players like Quanti saying that if they get dropped, they're going to spend their entire FNCS now griefing their ex-duo. So we now have Chubbs and Aviv and Quanti and Byla contesting each other, and Mero and Dukes going up against Noxy and Crisp. So these teams now need to get a top 150 just to make it into semifinals. But they're now spending their FNCS griefing each other because they snaked each other the day of FNCS. Fortnite competitive is the only esport where you'll see that happen, and it's why I kind of love it. If you've been paying attention to competitive Fortnite, this also now leaves the big question of, does that mean Peterbot and Pollo are back to being uncontested at Grim Gate? And the answer is yes. Peterbot and Pollo are back to now being uncontested at the best POI we have ever seen in Fortnite history. I will argue that to the death of me. In a season when no one has mobility, they get an infinite recharging mobility item that only they get. They are 100% winning FNCS Grand Finals if they go into Grands uncontested. There is not a doubt in my mind. But there is still a chance for one of these teams who is going somewhere else to change their mind and go back to Grim Gate. Quanti and Byler could 100% drop there. Byler did win an FNCS alongside Peterbot. He knows how he plays. He's played with him in the past. We have to see. Potentially, we might have an exciting spawn fight. Another team might take the chance to drop on Peterbot and Pollo. I highly doubt they're going into Grands uncontested, but if it's a team that hasn't practiced the drop at all and hasn't looked solid there all season, I'm very worried. Quanti was actually starting to improve at Grim Gate, was holding their own very, very well with Chubbs against Peterbot. That was the best chance to ruin what a lot of people are saying is just a guaranteed win for Peterbot and Pollo. So I have to see how that one develops. Luckily for these 4 new teams, all of them did make it out of round 1. They've made it into round 2. So the dream of them still qualifying stands, but man, it came very, very close. Mero and Dukes needed their last game to qualify and only just made it across the line in that last game. So they almost didn't qual after starting this entire snake inning. We have some other big names confirmed out of FNCS because this is week 2, round 1. Any team that didn't do well in week 1 and didn't make it out of round 1 this week, their FNCS is over. Some of the big names include Lacey, Stable Ronaldo, Typical Gamer, and Jiven. A lot of these guys haven't been taking the season that seriously. They've been competing a little bit here and there, picked up duos, gave it a try. A lot of them were upset they didn't qualify, but it wasn't super serious. They weren't fully grinding scrims, and there was a huge upset. One of those teams would have been Moneymaker. Moneymaker didn't make it out of round 1 last week. He has gone through a bunch of it at the moment. He got banned on Twitch. No one knew why. It was supposed to be a permanent ban. He ended up getting unbanned a few days ago, went on to win 2 of the 4 games in the Eval Cup finals, and then easily qualified out of round 1 today. So Moneymaker is very much back on form, back making content. We also had another content creator make it through. Cypher PK teamed up with Noah W Plays. Again, they just didn't make it out of round 1 last week. They need to perform this week, and now they've done it. They've made it onto round 2. So the dream of Cypher PK in a grand finals in FNCS in 2024 is still alive. We also had another GOAT 72 hours. Yes, Liquid 72 hours. Tom is back competing, and he did also qualify into round 2 only just. It came down to only a few points in it. I was watching Tom in an endgame today using the Chains of Hades and the DMR, pretty much reinventing the comp meta, making the chains look like one of the best items in the game right now. It was super fun to see an OG go back at it, and the storylines continue going into day 2 of FNCS. We also had some more insane storylines of import duos coming over and dominating NA, not just Mixon and Paco. Last week, they won round 1, week 1, and a lot of people flamed them for saying they were placement warriors. They got a 3-kill win. EU has to camp to do well on NA. They came out swinging and dropped a 46-kill win in opens to prove that they very much can W key on NA as well. I actually just posted a react video of this if you want to go check it out on my second channel, but they're not the only cross-region team. We've also had a few Brazilians come over and play NA FNCS, one of them being Hazens and Magia Jr. I hope I pronounced that properly. They actually dropped a 51 kill win in NA opens. They just dropped over a 50 bomb in FNCS as a team that's not even on their home region. So if you want me to watch that game and do a react to it, let me know in the comments down below. I'm very, very excited to see how different this team plays, because a 51 kill game is ridiculous.